4:30 yesterday afternoon, our time, in Spain, my father died. And I knew he was gonna die. But actually, instead of being near him, there's really no place that I would have rather been than swimming in a gigantic, beautiful tank, living out my dream.
Thickest in the way, thick upsetting tresses, a mouth and a hand, loosely downward motion, a sailboat and man.
Credo che la comunicazione che viene dall'arte è di gran lunga la più qualificata, la meno discutibile, la più importante. Quindi l'artista ha questo ruolo fondamentale di tradurre, di riuscire a tradurre nei confronti della gente questo tipo di comunicazione.
If I'm not cynical but honest, I will say the role of the artist is to maintain the system of art as it is, which is a pile of shit, based only on speculation and money and all this. And artists are part of it, as we are, of course.
It's interesting. I mean, the role of the artist in contemporary society is very difficult. It's a little bit like dancing on quicksand, because art itself is consumed so rapidly. It's absorbed by the, general capitalist market image system or whatever, what I'm saying. It's sucked so quickly into the system.
Artists are just there to keep on the machine. In the bad days, we will think of it. In the good days, we think artists are also part of this dialogue between the world and the community of the people and the art and themselves. Like when Artulin says, sing is transmitting, is giving something to the people.
Right now, I'm 32 years old, and I feel very much so that my role currently, not for my entire life, but right now, as an early 30-year-old woman, is to be Lady Godiva, to be the naked lady, to push the envelope of what is accepted. I mean, look at what I'm wearing to the Biennale in Valencia. I got so many looks. Nobody has, in my entire stay in Valencia, no one has catcalled me or been like, shh, or treated me like a prostitute, like it happens all the time in New York. But I was wearing this outfit and someone called from a cab, loca, loca, and that's my job. That is exactly my job, to push the envelope of what is accepted. Because what drives me crazy is that when Lady Godiva rode that horse naked centuries ago, it was shocking. It saddens me that that is still shocking now. Have we not evolved?
I don't like the word role somehow, because I think either you are an artist and you feel the need to, let's say it very simply, to find answers or to find words or to find expressions or whatever.
È un modo di entrar mucho más nel mundo, ma siempre in situaciones che sono un po' sul bordo.
Last winter, the curator emailed me directly and they telling me about this Biennale, and I was surprised because I never had show in such a big international show.
For this Biennale, about 30% of the work has been produced on site. For example, Koei Nawa, this young Japanese sculptor, came about a week ago, week or 10 days ago, to produce the work. It was a very laborious process to produce the work, but he's very, very happy for the result.
Yeah, I always use many material, and I touch and I use. And for example, I really like glue. If I see the new glue, there's many kind of glue, but I want to know what kind of glue is. So this experience from material is directed into my work.
And you can imagine if you're a third-year student from Korea and you've got 2 more years to go and you get a chance to show in an international survey show, I mean, it's going to increase his feel-good factor immensely.
Just that knowledge of the things you learn, I mean, there's just the experience. But as an artist, to come to an exhibition, to be in a big group show and have these wonderful Japanese artists constructing their sculptures right here, it's just so exciting for me. I find that incredibly vibrant, and I think the whole thing is very exhilarating and very alive.
For this sculpture, I have to visit the space because this sculpture is for the I want to express for the how people feel from their body. People move and go around and look the texture or color, how people feel in this site.
An artist should be conscious. Inspiration, probably. Magic, surely. Many things that are very difficult to feel. But at the same time, it's a conscious process. It's a conscious proceeding. And which includes strategy in terms of form, but in terms of career as well. So it's a sort of cynical attitude, but totally committed, totally into it.
Los artistas tienen un tipo de mente muy activa. La pereza, por eso, es el gran enemigo de la creatividad. Y cuando se unen una actitud activa y una memoria organizada de una manera peculiar, brotan muchas ocurrencias.
And also Jean leader came about 5-6 days ago to produce one of the biggest pour painting he ever done for the Valencia Biennale.
The work itself is only made through the pour of the paint on the canvas. There's no composition, there's no theme other than the paints mixing on the canvas themselves. I've been doing projects with the consortium Frank and Sundock since a very long time. I did a show at the consortium in the 80s, so it's very old friends. It is a very long connection. But when they did a show in Lille, which was called Flower Power, we did a very big, a major project for me in those days. And I said, oh, well, after the flowers, you should go on with the themes and you should do something about water.
We did the Flower Power show. I think through this project, I think Sepp Tamperini got to know us. We try to avoid the artists who are really dealing with the water theme itself. This is one of our criteria.
As a logo, when a theme or a way or a trademark become too obvious for an artist, not very interesting to just repeat it. So that's why we invite some artists that some are totally illustrating the theme and some are just more like illusion of the something around the water. So it could be like, for instance, John Armleder is nothing to do with the water, but he's painting in the way that he's pouring the paint out of the canvas, like the water running from a point, like Spring Falls, something like this. So it's not an artist that deal with the water.
As far as we know, we all come from water. Seemingly, long ago, we were some kind of a water creature, and we walked slightly, slowly onto the beach and became the human beings we are after going through a long time being apes and whatever else. And I think that's one of the nice things about the show, is that somehow we're talking about origins.
Because it's obvious that, you know, water is, I mean, I'm told water is the next oil, it's the next petrol, you know, it's probably the next material that, you know, might actually generate the Third World War.
And I mean, water is a crucial point, and especially after we've been asked to do this biennial, there was the tsunami. So it became a bit obscene to just talking about the water after the disaster and asking artists to react on this subject after this really disaster. So we were a bit off, and we wanted not to do it because it's just impossible. And then after several time, after several months, then it's becoming again maybe possible. So and also we try each time. I mean, we're interested in biennial because biennial are reflecting ideas of people of in a city or in a region, authority, people, any type of people. And why these people in Valencia want to deal with the water, and it's like there's two main thing. In 2007 you will have the America's Cup. So, and also because of planting oranges suck a lot of water. So there's like a dramatic aspect of it and a marketing aspect of it. So we have to deal within these two barriers, within these two limits, the marketing and the crucial part, the meaning and the entertainment. So it's within these two limits that we will deal with this show.
Water has aggressively pursued... Oh, and I'm a mermaid. Okay, and I'm a mermaid. So water has aggressively pursued me. And if people say, where would you choose to live? In the mountains? In the prairies? In the desert? I would choose the sea. I would absolutely 100% choose the sea because it's deceptive in its beauty. On the surface, you think nothing is going on except for maybe a few waves, and underneath, that's where all life comes from. And we are water. I am water.
I mean, I took a bath last night and it felt actually very different than it would ordinarily do. You know, it felt like a semi-precious material. I was becoming really aware of the preciosity of water. And I presume Valencia are hyper-conscious of the socio-political kind of resonance.
I fortissimi richiami dell'ONU sul problema relativo alla scarsezza o al cattivo impiego dell'acqua mi hanno molto indirizzato nella possibilità di realizzare delle cose che potessero dare un eco a queste preoccupazioni.
Basically, normally I'm a painter, but I did some sculpture in concrete, actually. And then there was one circumstances when somebody asked me to do it, asked me if I was doing this piece in ice, and that's how I got into that. So the idea is not so much the water, but the fact that it's ice melts and water actually, I don't know, it goes back in the earth and disappeared. It's more about the disappearance of the piece, in fact, about water. In fact, here what's interesting also is the fact that there's two of these blocks. This is something I never did. So it's interesting to see that one is going to melt maybe faster than the other, or you know, and also the setting. I mean, it's actually the place here is a beautiful place. I mean, this convent, it's very special, and I think it's interesting also to see the relationship between, you know, something that's an older building and contemporary stuff.
Water doesn't really give enough restrictions to the creative process, you know? I think restrictions help the creative process.
Just think about the school days. When you had an open theme to write a text, you just didn't have no clue of what to do or what to write, and you would restrict your theater much more than if someone said, oh, this is about this, and naturally, and especially probably as artists, you will always expand the theme. So if you have a restricted theme, in a way you have a tendency to expand. If you have no theme, you have a tendency to regress.
The framing, in a way, is a censoring or giving us some kind of a indication, and we give as much freedom and as much open they could have. Yes.
But some artists, I was quoting John Armleder's Poor Painting. John is doing also many other stuff, but we ask him precisely this type of work. After he do the way he want, but we were asking this type of work. As for Mosse, we were asking like Ice Cube.
They form a vacuum. The copper pipes that are attached to all the chandelier, it forms a vacuum to the refrigeration unit, and then you put gas in it. And then basically what it does is it chills the metal to such a degree that it freezes. It's acting like a magnet, that the metal is so cold that it's drawing in moisture from the air around it. And that's what's happening. So it's like it becomes like a magnet. Or in this case, it's kind of like a magnet and a pool, because it's just so warm. The gallery's pretty warm anyway, I think, so it's suffering.
A thematic biennale is quite unusual.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did that trouble you?
No, I think that's the curator's worry, really, not ours, to be honest. But as a theme, water is so open. You know, I mean, it's pretty difficult to not be able to fit it in somehow, don't you think, to most artworks in some way? The link can be quite tenuous, but...
Perhaps.
Do you think it's a problem for the curators or the artists?
Well, you see, I'm an air sign.
Oh, right.
And my ascendant is air.
Right.
So I'm all air.
You're all air.
And so I found and I'm aquaphobic.
So as a person, you found it problematic.
So I found it kind of somewhat alien. And given that, I think my piece is more about air than about water, because it's about ascendancy.
Air with 2.5 tons.
Well, it will hopefully read as a light work. So as to how fraudulent I am or not within this context is to be seen. I mean, the piece, as we well know, is not yet fully installed.
Constructed, yeah.
Yeah, Kisawa, we saw a little video in a group show in a gallery in New York like 3 years ago. And the little video was quite amazing. It was like a black and white video, loosely made of planes taking off and flying from a kitchen to a bathroom or landing on a bed or something like this. So we tried to figure out who this guy was. The gallery was not really, they didn't remember who that was. So, and just the thing, we get to know that he was living in London. He's a Japanese, young. And so we went to London for some other reason a few months after, I mean. And then we tried to follow his path, and it was quite difficult because nobody knows him. And through different connection, or I don't remember exactly, we located him in a neighborhood of London called Angel Muse or something like that. So it had to the mystery, and we met a little guy, Japanese, like 20-something. And at the time, the guy was still at the university or the art school, and he has a problem with the teacher because the teacher kept telling him, "Your video is shit. It's too funny. It's too easy, not serious. You should be more devoted to sculpture, installation." And he was like suffering. "Oh shit! I have to do installation, this big thing." And we told him, and he showed some photo of installation, and they were not so good. I mean, not so interesting, much less than the video. And said, forget it. Don't do this stupid thing if you don't feel like, and don't listen to teacher and your video are more nicer. And he said, "Oh, you're so nice. It's so good to hear this because I was